for our third eye kind of theme. It can be somewhat of a challenge the older that we get, and I'm sure that as we go through several stages and phases of our life, that you think you have a vision about what it is that your life was going to be, or you could taste it like so clearly, that image or that vision of what you expected. And then when it doesn't happen, that we can get kind of thrown into a space of what was I thinking? What did I see? Was it real? Did I believe it? It's like, how did I get duped by it? I mean, I feel like there's something that has happened to me since, and not just since I turned 40, because like it's one of those things that every decade brings with it a different thing. But particularly the death of my mother. When I realized that I had been holding on to a vision of what I expected from my relationship with my mom, that to have it just completely blipped out as quickly as it was, that the disappointment that I'm feeling and the shockwaves that I still continue to feel, the anger that I'm still processing, just all of it. It's like what it is that I was holding on to and what I was holding out for was this image of this vision of what I thought it was going to be, and then what I thought was going to happen for my mom. She had just started to get some life back in herself. She had just started making some changes. This time last year, we were going to Greece, and it was her first time out of, the United States, besides like, a sandals all-inclusive resort, and even that was very few and far between. This was a huge leap and a huge opening of independence, and showing her that there was like something more to this world than just what she thought was here. And I had so much kind of encapsulated in that. And she had the experience, and it was amazing. And there were ups and downs. I visualized all of this beauty, and then also right alongside it the pitfalls of like what could happen. And we saw it wasn't all rainbows, it wasn't all perfect, but it was so good overall that I really felt like this is the change, this was the turning point, this is going to be it. And it was as soon as we got home that things just kind of like downward spiraled. Our family dog died after 15 years. She just couldn't deal with a little bit more death. They sold our family home that I grew up in, that we'd had for 30 plus years, that she didn't really want to sell, and she just kind of lost spark, and that was it. It was like I lost my house. First it was I lost my father, which was 5 years before. I lost my mother. I lost my house. I lost my dog. I'm done. And she just kind of threw in the towel. So her death, while it was a shock, was not really all that shocking. In fact, if I look back, there were the signs, these warning post signs the entire time. And I saw it, but I didn't want to believe it because I kept holding out for this vision of who she was becoming. I saw all of these other realities, kind of playing out before me too. What is the difference between an illusion and delusion and intuition? It's like, this is what we have to start to cultivate. Are we really seeing each other? Are we seeing the world? Are we seeing, what it is that we desire because we can't handle seeing anything else? Or are we really open to see clearly what's in front of us without this projection? And again, I had this image of my life of what I thought when I got married, when I was, 23 years old and getting pregnant for the first time and seeing my life and seeing my husband and seeing my future. I thought it was all going to be a certain way, and it has completely changed. I'm no longer with him. I am no longer in the same place. I no longer want the same things. My vision and my images have changed. I saw so viscerally in my nature and myself giving birth to a little girl. I saw her. I felt her. I knew that she was like real. And then, life happens, and I'm 40, and, you know, it's like my partner's 60. We really going to open up that door? Are we really going to do that again? Are we really going to invite this in? No. But the grief that I feel for that little girl that never came to be is genuine and huge. Was it a delusion? Or am I just seeing a grandchild? I mean, who knows? It's like I have no idea. I know enough to know that I don't know shit. And at this point, because I've also seen visions that I've had crumble and just change. I've seen relationships that I thought were going to last much longer, just change. There's a beautiful poem called You Learn by Jorge Luis Borges. And one of the most poignant stanzas in it is, after a while you learn to build all your roads on today, for tomorrow's plans are too uncertain, and futures have a way of falling down in mid-flight. Period. It's like we have this image of this vision, and we can hold it, and it can be this beautiful fantasy. And the reality is that we're probably going to get something in between. And can we be open to receive the magic of that guidance without just getting so caught up in the grief of what didn't come to pass? It's a challenging spiritual practice to do so, but that's what we're here to do. And, physically, our bodies are communicating, and we can see very clearly how we are projecting, these images onto ourselves. I look at myself in the mirror. I finally, after many years of refusing to own a full-length mirror because they made me feel like absolute garbage, I now have one in my house, and I force myself to look at myself naked every day and to say, love you, great, appreciate you, everything that's here, every line, every wrinkle, every stretch mark, every bit of myself that I feel is not worthy of being seen. I take the time to actually hold and touch and visually look at and say, love you, love you. Why? Because my image of myself still doesn't match what I think I deserve, or like that I need to be in order to be worthy of being seen fully. It's like, what is it? Our collective conditioning, these things that kind of get put on us. There are so many visuals and visions that we are trying to get to so that we can be okay. And that's the trap. So when we recognize that our physical bodies are gateways to a bigger understanding, they are also it's really important to check which lens we're looking through. If you are constantly looking at yourself through the lens of not enoughness, that is what you are going to see. If you are constantly looking at your life through the lens of loss, then that is all we are going to see. If we are constantly looking at our lives through this lens of, not being fulfilled, then that's what we're going to project. So can we start radiating and resonating in a frequency that feels in alignment with, I am exactly where I am supposed to be, and I'm open to the mystery. Show me something different. Show me the way out. And it's not through your mind. It'll be through your feelings and through your heart. It will be this kind of pulse that knows that it may not be your reality may not match what you've projected or what you've believed that it should have been. But the reality that you are in is exactly where you are supposed to be. It's like, and we don't know, what direction. We really don't have any ideas most days, really what it is that we're supposed to be doing. But if we can get quiet and then trust what's being shown to us in the positive light, then we will also find abundance and beauty that is beyond what we could have imagined. My life, I don't want my life to be any different than the way that it is right now. I can say with full clarity at 40 years old, I'm in the best place that I have ever been, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. I don't know where my future is going to take me. That's a first. I have been motivated with a vision my entire life. Right now, I do not feel that same clarity of vision for the future because I've seen how quickly it can change. I've seen how radically my whole perception could change. So what I'm now standing in is I have a vision and let's see where that takes me. I'd actually like to be delighted and surprised more and actually not know where I'm going. I would really like to be more open to that. And that's what, if I have a vision now, it's for that. Physically, if you can channel this. When you come into the practice, especially for the rest of the month, if you have anything that you've been holding on to like so hard and like this vision, and maybe it's something's falling apart and maybe some vision has not, manifested, or you've gotten a harsh dose of reality and you're still struggling to integrate it. Can we then create some internal space to see the perfection of it, even when we don't understand it? It's like, let's be open to receive this guidance. In that same way, coming back to, this original grief with my mother, I saw clearly how she didn't want to be here, and she made the choice. So when I now see with that beauty, she made a choice, and that was great. And I'm glad that she was able to choose for herself for once instead of sacrificing for everybody else her entire life. It's like she chose her death, and it was honorable the way that it was exactly how she wanted to go. She visualized it, she manifested it. So if I see it like that, she's limitless. It's like now she got what she wanted, and now I can access her in a very different way. So I'm trying to see the beauty and the grace in that, and not just the loss and the sadness. And that's a practice. So over and over again, internally in your body, what's showing up? If you practice and you feel what's happening in this moment, am I feeling a contraction? Am I feeling an opening? Am I feeling a projection? Am I feeling like there's some new possible potential for me here? That's what we want to really create these conditions and this cultivation internally this month. When you close your eyes and you move inside, what's the image that appears in that moment? Trust those images, trust that guidance. And then just do some meditating on it. Ask for some additional guidance and it may surprise you. What you receive may actually genuinely surprise you. And in that way, when our eyes are open, we are constantly processing information, we're receiving signals, we're pulling it in, but there's no getting away from yourself when you close the eyes and you move your energy internally. So let's go inside and close our eyes now if we haven't done so already, and just notice, what is up for us in this resonance. How do we feel with what's been said? Do we see where we're at right now? Can we see ourselves through this lens of compassion in this moment? You are no more broken than anybody else. We don't lack anything. We can see ourselves and how far we've come. We can see what we've accomplished. We can see what our bodies have given us to this point. And when we look at ourselves through that lens, let's breathe in gratitude. As you inhale, really flood the body with light all the way to the pelvic floor. And gush it out. Softening and letting go. A few more times just like that. Every inhale, you're taking in more light and awareness. Every exhale, let go of our false perceptions. A few more times. If you want to sound or sigh, honor it. Last one. And then start to layer in your deep Ujjayi breathing. So Ujjayi is an oceanic sound which will really help you to stay focused and present, and to burn through any projections or our false perceptions, to cultivate a sense of witness without judgment. We create this container and we set our collective intentions to see clearly for the next hour. Why are you here? What do we need to see and bathe with more compassion and acceptance? and to be open to the delight and wonder that that open path can bring us without knowing what we're supposed to do. We open the practice and we join our energy together by chanting Om 3 times. Inhale deeply for Om.